Show this morning. We're talking to Dr. LMadu, and the topic is Iran, from revolution to nuclear ambition. And Dr. Madu has already laid out the ethnic situation in Iran up to this point. And of course, Dr. Madu, let us allow you to continue that conversation that we had earlier.
Yeah, and you know, like I said previously, when the clerical establishment and other Iranians felt that, you know, the United States was chewing far more in Iran than they really wanted to, they started coalescing around, you know, the clerical establishment to overthrow the Shah. And of course, one of those, the Shah's strongest opponents was Ayatollah Khomeini, you know, who was expelled from Iran, and he went to live in Najaf, Iraq, under Saddam Hussein. The Shah, you know, reached an agreement with Saddam Hussein later for Saddam Hussein to expel Ayatollah Khomeini from Iran, from Iraq, you know, to Paris. But when he did that, he didn't know he was killing himself. Now, in Iraq, Khomeini and his group didn't have exposure to the world press. Now, when Khomeini got to Neufville-le-Château in France, he got, you know, attention of the world press, which really magnified his fight against the Shah. Okay. Now, when he got there, he was surrounded by a lot of Iranian civilians who were very articulate. Prominent amongst them is Abul Hassan Bani Sadr, who became the first president. You had Sadegh Gobsadeh, Ibrahim Yazdi, who used to be a cancer research specialist here. So all of them started teaching him how to talk to the world press and write things for him and all that. So eventually, you know, in January of 1979, the Shah left Iran, you know, and came to the United States and to Panama and to Egypt finally, you know. And he was replaced. Of course, he appointed the man who replaced him, called Dr. Shapur Bakhtiar. Bakhtiar is from, you know, an ethnic group called the Bakhtiaris. That's how he got his name, Bakhtiar. So he became, you know, the prime minister. But then in February of '79, he was forced to flee, you know, for dear life to Paris. And Khomeini came back and became, you know, the Velayat el-Faghi, you know, of Iran. Then a revolutionary government was established, and you had an Islamic Revolutionary Council, you know, that was ruling the country. What happened was that Khomeini established what you call an Islamic theocracy. You know, Iran actually is what you call a theocratic democracy. Though we might not like it, but at least they vote. Unlike some of our friends, you know, in the Middle East, where nobody has ever voted. You know, so he had a theocracy with a president, a parliament called a Majlis, Shura, that's the name of their parliament, and three key, you know, what you call three key executive bodies, like the way we have our check, you know, and balances here.
Executive, judicial, legislative.
Exactly. He had what you call the Assembly of Experts, which is headed now by Hashemi Rafsanjani. His job is to appoint the supreme leader, you know, for life. The supreme leader is appointed for life, but they can remove the supreme leader. It's a council of about 86 members, you know, chosen, you know, for 8 years. Then you have the Council of Guardians, which organizes the elections and monitors this and makes sure people who are, you know, selected, you know, through and pew for the revolution. Then you have the Expediency Council that makes sure anybody running for office and all that, and you know, is correct. So that's how you have the checks and balances. Now the president